Hello, hello. Hello, hello. I'm Hayley Ebersole, and I am a women's embodiment coach. It is my work in the world to support women to deeply connect to and heal their relationship to their bodies. And we do that in several ways. So, so much of this juicy conference and so much of this wisdom transmission that's coming through Amba is really inviting us into these direct practices and this direct way of relating to our body that is immediately liberatory. So immediately invites us into this deeper state of presence and connection to our heart, to our truth, to the essence of our original nature. And of course, that is what creates health in the body. So I'm so pleased to be here with y'all, both live and on the replay, to really share a different approach to the same juicy benefits. And my work in the world is both to support women with their physical bodies to really heal that relationship through movement, both as a personal trainer and as a women's embodiment coach. But also, I have a women's mystery school, and I train priestesses in the Celtic shamanic tradition. So, this work is very much about reclaiming women's innate spiritual practices from all of our lineages. It's so powerful to have all of these breath work practices, these medical qigong practices, all of these practices that are inviting us to really hack our nervous system so we can bring ourselves back into this state of deep connection. And the work that I offer and that I'll talk to you about today is really how do we capitalize on the unique nature of women's anatomical superpowers in order to live these lives of abundance and self-worth. So the topic that I was so thrilled to bring to y'all today is sacred boundaries to support our divine feminine nature. And I love that we've had these 4 days of like beautiful, we're on day 4 of this like beautiful, these beautiful empowering practices. And my question to you is, how are we going to protect this sacred well of energy that we are building? How are we going to truly honor the precious nature of this vital, radiant health that we're cultivating? And really, this is an invitation into a deep inquiry around our relationship to boundaries. And of course, that can be our own internal boundaries, boundaries around our own thoughts. Amba just gave us this huge, beautiful download around the qualities of the organ systems and how, and really what I see that practice that Amba offered is really, it's about creating healthy boundaries around unhelpful thoughts and emotions, honoring them, giving them space to breathe and move, and then using those sword fingers in a clockwise motion to actually recycle, compost, and fertilize. This is a beautiful, beautiful example of how we create sacred boundaries to protect our mental space, our emotional space. Now, the challenge, the reason that this is, that any of us need this, all of us need this practice, and these practices is particularly as women, often we either have a little bit messy boundaries, as in, as particularly for those of us who are empaths or who are deeply attuned to our emotional bodies and the emotional bodies of others, be those our families and children, or just sometimes, for me, my nature is like I walk into a room and I'm like, oh, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. So that's also a common thing among women. And what can happen is in our beautiful, open-hearted, loving nature that we can tend to overgive. We can tend to say yes when we really mean no. We can tend to desire, like from this beautiful from the root of this beautiful place of service and of a desire to honor our clients, to honor our families. We give and give and give and give and give until the wellness bank account or our inner world is it's the well starts to run dry. This is very common among women. But on the other hand, we also have these excessive boundaries that maybe we tend towards this relationship to controlling our environment, to controlling our bodies, to controlling what our children do to a T, or to control, to feel, often this is unconscious, but to control the actions of our partners. So we can boundaries really live in this realm of the third chakra. This is our power center. This is, in fact, let's all just take our hands onto our solar plexus, and never a bad time to just rub into our beautiful bellies and to feel this point of our radiant inner sun. And let's, in fact, just drop our eyes, and we can hold our hand. Let's hold one hand on our solar plexus, just above the belly button. Let's take another one below that into the low belly here. And simply invite the breath to deepen down into this deeply rooted space within us, our center. And feeling the way the breath expands into the palms, spreading the ribs, the belly button, the skin of the belly. And as we exhale, we can just soften and release and let shed and let go, and shoulders drop away. And take a moment just to inquire inward into your own sacred heart and to ask yourself, in what direction do you tend to move? Do you tend to overgive and to take on a lot until maybe you tend towards burnout? Do you have this deep heart of service that wants to just keep saying yes and yes and yes, and sometimes maybe even says yes when you should say no? On the other hand, as you feel into this sacred space of your third chakra, do you perhaps tend to keep really tight boundaries over your time, very structured? Do you tend to maybe control your food intake or control the way your body looks to the extent that maybe it can be a little stressful for you or other people? Let's just take a moment to offer ourselves some love and compassion and gentleness around all of that. They are all welcome here in this moment for our awareness. It's becoming more conscious. As you're ready, gently floating the eyes open if they are closed. I'd love for you, whether you're here live or watching the replay, let's all take our right hand up. I'll mirror you. So we're going to take our right hand up and just give it a big reach and stretch, because we've been sitting, and you can just reach, stretch, and maybe even tilt a little towards the other side. Yeah, and this right side here, I was thinking today on this topic of the great Hindu goddess Ardha Maheshvari, who is on this right side, the divine masculine, that who takes action, that who protects the sacredness of our divine soul and our innate intuitive nature. Slowly release that. And then just take a moment and just feel, what is that like on your right side? What's it like to feel the right side expressed, stretched? And inhale, let's take that left side up and just reaching up to the extent it feels good for you, and then taking a gentle side bend. Taking a few breaths into the ribs on the outer left side and feeling into your own divine feminine nature. this part of you that is your deep connection to soul, to intuition, to your creativity, to your expression, to your flow, the dance of your life, the art of your life. And then as you exhale, just slowly release that down and take a moment. Maybe you close your eyes or you take a breath and feel what it's like to be alive on that left side. And as we breathe here and now, we invite in this balance between our right and our left side, between our feminine and our masculine natures. And this, my sweet friends, is the power of sacred boundaries. When we have our inner masculine, and this is worth noting, is that here in this conference, as we cultivate abundance and self-worth, what we're really doing is we're creating this, we're anchoring in what is already here, this paradigm, this new earth of this deep connection to the inner balance of our masculine and feminine, which creates a balanced culture, which creates health, which creates healthy communities, healthy families. And so when we get down to this very personal relationship to our own boundaries, what we're talking about here is how is our own healthy, divine, inner masculine nature showing up to protect, to preserve, to honor, and to celebrate our divine feminine nature. And I speak this as well for all genders. So this isn't just specific to women, but the juice of the feminine as a universal principle, right? We could even, again, just keep separating it from gender. The divine feminine within each of us is that which seeks we can even take it down to the astrology, the energy of Venus, the energy of harmony, the energy of connection, the energy of a sensation of aliveness and joy and presence in our life, this juice of life, the Shakti of life. This is what we are being invited to honor through boundaries. But how? That's where our divine masculine, our healthy inner masculine comes out to offer a sacred, no thank you. A sacred, okay, what is actually going to support me to be in greater balance right now? And where do I need to say no to either unhealthy thought patterns, to practices or foods or environments or people that don't support my thriving? Now, the word no itself can be an edge for women. It can be a challenge even to make that sound. And Amba led us in these powerful mantras, these powerful sound vibrations that heal these different elements of our body. And honestly, two of the most delicious sound healing elements I like to bring into my work are literally the vibration of yes. Get a little snake breath in there, right? And then also no. Because I find a lot of women have challenges, particularly with the no. But it is the no sound. It is the no energy. It is actually, I have limited heartbeats and breaths. I want to preserve and protect this sacredness. I want to honor this sacred mission that I've been brought into this earth with. I want to honor my own value, my self-worth. And of course, that is the foundation for abundance. So I invite us all to step into that sound healing for just a moment together. So even if you're on replay, even if you're, walking your dog or you're doing dishes, take a moment with us and let's actually just play with these sounds in our bodies for just about 30 seconds. And I want you to drop in, maybe close your eyes, feel your roots, feel your legs, feel the floor. And then just try it. What does a yes feel like in your body? And let's speak it in this sensuous way. Yes. Let this be a mantra. Yes. Continue making the sound at your own pace and let it soften the shoulders, let it open the heart. And as you speak this sound, this sacred, energetic vibration, call in the essence of what you're saying yes to. Yes. What are you calling more of? Say yes to it. Yes. And one more of this beautiful mantra. Let it vibrate through the body. Yes. Take a moment and feel that. Feel your yes. What are you saying yes to by being here at the Abundance and Self-Worth Conference? Saying yes to abundance, saying yes to valuing yourself, saying yes to healthy thoughts, yes to nourishing your body with healing movements, yes to honoring and feeling your emotions. Now, all of that's juicy. And if we just stayed in the yes all the time, there's many things we could call that. One would be spiritual bypassing. Another would be like just floating off in the ethers and like not being actually present to your life. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of things that require us to hold that sacred space of our inner worth, right? Because really, if we had no boundaries, we could just give all day. We could surf all day. We could give all day. And in fact, if we really had no boundaries with our mental processes, we all know how that goes. I mean, I think that's a very human thing. I can tell you, I know how that goes. I can share my story of really discovering boundaries was from a very young age, in order to control a very uncontrollable family environment, I learned to be very controlling with my environment, what foods I took in, how I related to my body, high achievement, making sure I got certain grades, making sure everyone liked me, making sure I looked a certain way. These were all ways that I tried to control a very uncontrollable world. And those were the resources I had at the time. And as I moved deeply into my yoga practice and then ultimately into the feminine mysteries, I discovered that I could tap in to this inner well of yes, this inner well of my true essence, my true nature. And in order to do that, I had to loosen some of the reins of control. But I also had the flip side of the coin, and I see this again and again with the women I work with, is that I also always wanted to please. So I was a people pleaser, and then someone would say, "Oh, who's gonna go like lead this initiative?" Or who's gonna be the leader of this group? And I would say yes, 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 yes. Or someone would say, "Oh, can you go do this?" Or you know, all the ways we get asked to do all the things, and I would just say yes, 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 yes. So now I want us to step into the sacred no. So let's just take a moment, can drop in, can connect to your heart, because this no is actually an action of love. And I want you to take a moment as you breathe here and just to connect to what we're protecting and honoring here, this sacred well of life force and energy. And then just try it. No, no. Speak it as a mantra. Let's draw it out. No. And maybe you add a hand gesture or a mudra. Maybe you say no. No. Protecting your sacredness a few rounds. No. Protecting this well of self-worth and abundance. No. Yeah, let's get a little fiery with it. Sometimes we need to express the sacred no. No, that is not okay to talk to me like that, right? No, that's not part of my sphere. People talking in ways around you that aren't part of what you're bringing in. No, no, thank you. I'm just going to step away. And one more time. No. Beautiful, beautiful. So to close, bringing us back to Ardhanashvari, this God goddess. So I didn't even explain. So this Hindu god goddess is actually split down the side, down the center. Oh, I love that. Yes, Amba. Like it's so nice to make that because that's who we are, right? On this right side, we carry the essence of our divine masculine, that which takes action and supports all of this incredible, potent beauty and connection that is the nature, the juice of life. And on our left side, this essence of our feminine nature, our creative nature, living our life as art in communion with self and other, being in tune with the nature of spirit as she moves through us as our desires. And when we are in that sacred union, when we are in balance, where we are honoring what is our value, our self-worth, and then our masculine shows up to get us to our morning practice, right? These are ways, boundaries where the rubber hits the road, get us to our morning practice, to get us to our movement practice, to get us to truly express our needs to those we love, to truly express what we really want, our desires, and to take action to move towards that. And of course, as we move towards that, there's going to be obstacles and there's going to be people like, oh, you're amazing and radiant and abundant. Like, I want some of that. And then it's like, oh, yes, you get it in this certain way at this certain time, but I'm focused on where I'm going. So this is where the rubber hits the road when we talk about boundaries. And it's truly the divine union of our inner masculine and our inner feminine that both show up in the sacred dance of our balance. And balance, of course, in our mental, spiritual, emotional bodies is balance in our physical bodies. It is homeostasis. It is this the sense of just feeling good and being alive here and now. So I want to drop us into a breakout, but I want to close by just saying thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Amba. What a powerful conference. I love the work you're bringing through. And I want to say again, I'm Hayley Ebersole. Did not speak my website at the beginning. So I'm going to say, you can find me at Exploring Body, Mind, Freedom, all one word, exploringbodymindfreedom.com. And you're always welcome to reach out to me individually with any questions you have about feminine spiritual practice, about mystery school, about walking the Celtic priestess path, and or women's transformational coaching and personal training that is somatically rooted in healing our inner emotional landscape. That email address is Hayley, Hayley, at exploringbodymindfreedom.com. All one word. So Hayley at exploringbodymindfreedom.com. Thank you all so much. And as we close, I just want to drop in these questions we've already tapped into is what in your life, where in your life do you need to create a sacred boundary? Do you need to create a sacred no so that you can really, really invest in your self-worth and in your abundance on an even deeper level? This could, of course, be in your own self-care, your own inner mental processes, or on the other hand, it could be boundaries around your relationships to others and how others may be crossing your boundaries. Yes, so I'll drop us there.
Oh, thank you. I want to ask you really quick, what do you suggest to people who are sensitive to hearing no from
Ooh,
people?
so beautiful. Thank you so much for that excellent question. Oh, I can so relate. I can so relate to that too. That being sensitive to hearing no. And Amba, I love that you asked that question because I was so struck by when you had us draw our thumbs in and wrap them and bring them down. This sense of grounding. So if anyone missed that, this is the mudra she was offering for the earth finger in here and then connecting to roots. This is one of many ways that we can ground ourselves and come back into our own center. For those of us who have a hard time hearing the word no, really this is part of our sacred masculine showing up to to hold us regardless of circumstance, right? So we are going to be put in situations where we're made to feel uncomfortable. This is part of being a human. And many of us, when we get uncomfortable with hearing a no, like we can move into this place of, the inner anxiety or the inner fear or the inner sadness, and even maybe check out or move into addiction or numbing or disembody. And so always the invitation with boundaries, with even these mantras of yes and no, is to step back into our embodied experience. This is the medicine for the ways that we feel triggered. And then we start to run old patterning that we learned from our childhood, feeling the discomfort of a no. And the more that we ground into our center, one of the most effective ways I find to do that is to bring one hand to my heart, my belly, or honestly, just touch my skin in any way. So if you're in public and you don't feel comfortable doing the whole sacred mudra of touching the womb and the heart, you can touch your heart, you can do it. No one's gonna know if you just touch your body. You can even touch your arm. Here's my boundary. Here's my physical boundary. Here's my embodied boundary. Here's my body. I am present in my body in this moment. And I've got me. I've got me. So it's okay if someone doesn't agree with me, doesn't want to do what I ask, whatever comes is criticizing me, whatever comes up. Our sacred masculine, our internal sacred masculine is here to be like, baby, I got you. I got you. And the best way I find for that is like, come back into the body, a little squeeze, a little grounding earth mudra, even reaching down and touching the earth or bending the knees and pressing the feet into the floor. Very somatically grounding, like it's okay. I feel triggered and I can stay here right now. And that is a lifetime's worth of work. So, we're giving you all these like wisdom nuggets in this conference, but this is a lifetime's work of worth of work of compassion. So wishing you all so much love on that journey, ever continuing journey.